What is up, all you worship peoples? Thanks so much for joining me. I'm MydNyte, and I love equipping worship leaders with helpful and encouraging content. And in this video, I am ditching the acoustic guitar to go over some practical tips on vocal health. And what has helped me over these past 20 years of worship leading, just to keep my voice nice and strong. So let's get into it. If you're new here, thanks so much for hanging out with me. If these videos are helping you, which is the goal, and why don't you give them a like and maybe even subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you don't miss future worship tutorials. So before we get into these 5 tips, I just wanted to make you aware that I am not a vocal professional by any means. I'm not a vocal coach. I haven't gone to school for this. These are just things that I have picked up from other professionals along the way, and habits that I've just found to help me in these past 20 plus years of leading worship. Things that have promoted my vocal health, that have helped me to go into each and every Sunday vocally strong. So although I'm not a professional, I just thought that these practical things might help somebody else out there. There are a plethora of videos by vocal professionals out there, so look out for those. But this is just my take on some practical tips to promote vocal health and in your profession and your worship leading career, I guess you could call it. All right, tip number 1, rest. Rest is one of those things that you hear over and over again from vocal professionals. It's like hearing from your mom, don't go swimming, right after you eat your lunch. It's just like, okay, I get it. But getting good sleep, especially the night before you have to sing all day, it can make a world of a difference. And I've just seen that over the years. When I get a bad night of sleep on Saturday night, and I have to go sing for 3 services on Sunday, I can feel it. I am in bed at 8:30, man. I don't mess around. It's like I got all my ducks in a row. I am getting to bed. I try to get a full 8 hours. My body is one of those ones where it's super annoying. I can't live off of just 6 hours. I would do anything for a couple hours during the day to do more stuff, because I'm just I'm like that. It's I feel like sleeping is a waste of time. but I realize that it's very necessary, and especially necessary for my vocal health. So I place a great deal of importance on getting a good night of sleep each night, but especially before the days that I gotta sing all day. Tip number 2, drink water. Over these past 20 years, I have found hydration to be my best friend. And I try to start drinking water days before Sunday. So Friday, Saturday, I am trying to drink a ton of water. I try to drink a full 64 ounces every single day. That's 8 glasses of water, or if more if I can. And that just really helps throughout the week, but especially the days leading up to a day that you got to sing all day, like Sunday for worship leaders. Be drinking a ton of water all day. I've heard it said that your body hydrates the most important things first. So your heart, your brain, things that it needs to truly function. And your voice is not one of those things. So if you're thinking that you're going to drink water right before you sing, like a couple minutes before, it's not really going to do that much. You have to be already very hydrated, and then your entire body is hydrated, and I found that to be true. It doesn't really help much when I drink water right before I sing, but it helps a ton when I drink water all day before the day that I sing. And then on Sundays, I'm drinking water all day, and that has really helped me too. The Sundays that I will go without drinking water, I do feel a slight decline in vocal performance throughout the course of the day. And the days when I drink water all day, my voice stays relatively strong the entire day. So it's just kind of these patterns that I've seen develop, and I have really grown to place a great amount of importance on hydration. On the subject of drinking things, I have also heard a lot of different people suggest, drink tea with honey, drink hot, like scalding hot water, I've heard some people say. None of these things have really helped me. In fact, tea actually hurts me. Anything besides water, honestly, doesn't really do me much good. I will say when drinking water, I have found that lukewarm water is best. Cold water can really kind of like shock my vocal cords and make them more tight and tense. I'm sure you vocal coaches are like, yeah, well, that's because X, Y, and Z, and scientifically speaking, but practically, I've just found that cold water is worse for me. I really prefer lukewarm. Just a ton of lukewarm water the day of and the day before. That is my recommendation. Tip number 3, vocal warm-ups. This is one of those things that I got taught by a actual vocal professional, but before singing, like the day of, I make sure I do vocal warm-ups before I sing, before I rehearse. So literally in the car on the way to church at like 6 in the morning, I am doing vocal warm-ups. And there's many different warm-ups you can do. I'm not going to tell you how to do warm-ups because I'm sure there's so many videos on YouTube that you can look up, but just look up some vocal warm-up videos if you're not already doing them, because you need to be doing them. They are critically important to vocal health. So the day of you sing, you want to be doing vocal warm-ups before you start rehearsing, before you start singing. Vocal warm-ups, very important. Tip number 4, kind of a weird one, but not clearing my throat. This is another piece of advice that I got from a vocal coach, a vocal professional, and they described clearing your throat as smashing your vocal cords together, which sounds terrifying, but whenever you sing, whenever you talk, you want your vocal cords to be open, and clearing your throat actually like smashes them and like makes them flat, I guess. I mean, I myself practically have found that when I do clear my throat, especially on days when I am singing all day, it has degraded my voice to a considerable degree. So, and the more I do it, and it's usually without even thinking, the worse my voice gets. What my vocal coach suggested that I do is kind of like hard swallows. So instead of clearing your throat, just try to like really swallow away whatever is bothering you. Although that might not completely remedy your situation, it's going to be infinitely better than constantly clearing your throat. My 5th and final tip, and this is going to be very difficult for some people, but don't drink coffee. I love coffee. My wife loves coffee. We love drinking coffee together. We love getting coffee out of the house and going through Starbucks drive-thrus. But for me, I had to create some boundaries because coffee began really degrading my vocal performance, honestly. And I was able to really narrow down that it was coming from coffee because I would go a week without coffee just as an experiment, and my vocal performance and strength on Sundays would be incredible. And then I would drink it like every day and it'd be terrible. So for me personally, there's this kind of weird link between coffee and poor vocal performance. So I have limited my coffee intake to just 1 day a week. Well, really 1.5. So on Sundays in the evenings after I'm done singing, I might have a cup. And then Mondays is my coffee day where I get to drink coffee as much as I want. So I'll have like 3 or 4 cups that day, but that's the only time that I really drink coffee during the week. And then leading up to Sunday, I'm just drinking a ton of water. And honestly, I just found that my vocal strength has returned to me after I have started that habit. It's just something weird for me. I know it's not for everybody. I know some people, they can drink like super dark, strong coffee right before they sing, and they're fine. It doesn't affect them at all. For me and my voice, my body, it really plays some dirty tricks on my vocal cords, to be honest. So I just try to stay away from it as much as I can, although I do love coffee. If you're experiencing poor vocal performance on Sundays, that might be something that you want to try to experiment with, kind of lessen your intake of it. maybe just on the days leading up to Sunday, and see if that does anything positively for you. I know for me, it's just something that I've had to come to terms with. I can't have too much of it. My voice is very important to me because leading worship is how I provide for my family right now. This is my profession. This is my career, if you want to call it that. So sacrificing that is a small price to pay for being able to make a living doing this thing that's so amazing, this thing that I love. So those are my 5 best tips for promoting vocal health for you, and they have worked for me over these past 20 plus years. I would love to hear from you guys though. I'm sure you guys have some things, have some methods, maybe even some old wives' tales. Things that, you know what, you found that really work for you. So comment down below. Let me know what works for you, because I want to learn from you guys. And I hope that these 5 tips help you to keep your vocal cords strong. It's a very important aspect to leading worship. If you don't have a solid voice, that's it. You're done. Maybe you can, you can play an instrument obviously on stage and serve in the worship team in that way. But as far as like leading worship goes in the front line and singing songs, you can't really go very far if you don't have proper vocal health and strength. Wherever you're singing and using your voice, just don't forget to always keep it praisey. Don't forget to always get super praisey. Whatever you're doing, wherever you are. I'll see you guys in the next video.